What's going on, everybody? Live Knight 74 here. With the upcoming Kingdom Hearts 4 game on the horizon, I figured I'd make myself a top 10 list of the Kingdom Hearts worlds I would personally love to see come to the franchise and the upcoming game. So without further ado, we're going to jump right into the list and talk about the top 10 Kingdom Hearts worlds I want to see. The first world I want to add on this list is Wreck-It Ralph. The grid from Tron was used to represent the security around Hollow Bastion, and I think an updated version of that would be really cool. You could replace grid with more of a modern representation of technology such as the world found in Wreck-It Ralph. It could be used for anything they want. If they want to return to Hollow Bastion and have it be a new security system, or even something new, it could literally just be a world. I just think that this would be a really cool world to visit, especially seeing as that Wreck-It Ralph has gone to the internet, so they can add in aspects of that as well. We've seen Wreck-It Ralph a little bit in Kingdom Hearts already, and all he was just a summon in Kingdom Hearts 3, but I think he definitely deserves to get his own world, because this world could be full of lots of cool places to explore, like the video game scene where you get to fight a bunch of bugs and stuff like that. That would be a really cool aspect to this world. And that's even a way for Disney to throw in a little racing mini game into the game, because Disney loves doing stuff like that with the gumball, with the little the candy racing tracks that they have in this movie. You could even add in a little candy themed outfit for Sora. Overall, I think this is a great world to put into the game, and I'm really hoping we see it in Kingdom Hearts 4. Number 9 on my list is Atlantis: The Lost Empire. Now, Atlantis was always one of my favorite Disney movies growing up, and I always felt like it was an underrated movie, but I think it would be great for Kingdom Hearts as a world. You could start off the world with Sora helping Milo find Atlantis, or you could literally start it out with Sora showing up in Atlantis and Milo and the gang already being there. Another reason why I think this world is perfect for Kingdom Hearts game is because Commander Rourke is perfect for Kingdom Hearts, as his greed literally led to his downfall, turning him into a demonic crystallized monster that erased his core personality, which sounds exactly like a Heartless. He could literally become a Heartless boss. It would be a great fit for the game. As for what Sora could wear while he's in Atlantis, we could give him some kind of robe or something like that with a Keyblade made of of the crystals and stuff like that. I think it would look really cool to have him have a full-on outfit for an Atlantis world. Overall, seeing Sora and gang team up with Milo and gang, that's gonna be awesome, because it's just gonna be a fun world. Number 8 on my list is one of the most requested worlds ever since Disney bought this franchise, and that is the Star Wars universe. Now, there's already rumors that this world is going to be in Kingdom Hearts 4, because people have already been speculating since the trailer sort of made it look like there's going to be Endor on here, and that is exactly what I'm expecting to be. Is there's definitely going to be a Star Wars world in this game. Now, I am shocked if it is Endor, because knowing Disney, I would expect them to make the world be one of the new Disney-made Star Wars movies, episodes, 7 through 9, which I don't personally want. I would much rather see either the original trilogy or the prequels even. I do think the original trilogy is the way to go with episodes 4, 5, and 6, and I think that would work really well for this world. Having Sora team up with Luke Skywalker to take on Darth Vader would be absolutely fantastic, and I think it would work out the best, instead of him having to try to fight like Kylo Ren or something. Darth Vader's always been the icon of Star Wars, so having Sora face off against the ultimate evil in Star Wars would be an epic final clash. That's why everybody was very shocked when they were hinting at Endor, because episode 6 is not what people were expecting on a Star Wars world. As for the Keyblade you get in this world, obviously we're wanting a lightsaber Keyblade. Maybe Sora could have his own kind of get up, kind of like Han Solo style, and you can give Goofy a Millennium Falcon shield or something like that. I think there's so many endless possibilities, but obviously we need a lightsaber Keyblade. That's a very big must. Overall, I think this world is definitely going to happen. I want it to happen. They've already basically hinted at it, so give us a Star Wars world before we lose our minds. Number 7 on my list is Zootopia. In Kingdom Hearts 4, I think that the world of Zootopia should be set in the events after the film because I think it would work out much easier and better that way. We could have Hop already be a full-fledged police officer and be working on cases, and Sora and the gang could help her solve crimes and investigate cold cases, and probably more than likely the cases could be related to the Heartless. You could even have Sora and the gang team up against like corrupted animals that are being turned, rogue because of Heartless or whatever their interactions are in this world. As for Sora, obviously when you go to an animal themed world like we did with Lion King, you would have them turn into an animal himself. Donald and Goofy are already animals, so they are pretty much good. They might change them like they did with Lion King, but I don't see a need to. As for Sora though, I think turning him back into a lion would be really cool, like a full-fledged walking, talking lion instead of him being on all fours and like he was in Lion King. And as for the Keyblade, I think having some kind of like cityscape Keyblade with like a badge at the top would be really cool because the whole thing is themed on police officers. I just think that would be a really cool look for Sora in this world. Overall, this world would be a really good addition to Kingdom Hearts 4 because it is a newer movie and something they haven't really done yet, except for maybe with the closest one would be Lion King. So I hope this is a world that is added to the Kingdom Hearts game. Number 6 on my list is the movie Moana. Moana has the potential to be a really interesting world in Kingdom Hearts 4 because we've already seen in the movie how good of a characters Moana and Maui are as working together. Having Sora and the gang team up with Moana and Maui to help them save Moana's people from destruction would be a really good quest for Sora to go on during this world. One of the big themes of this movie was helping Moana discover who she was and discover her identity, which Sora has gone through multiple times throughout the franchise, so I feel like Sora would relate very well to Moana and help her out. I think Moana being the world it would be a good way to replace the Pirates of the Caribbean, how they did in Kingdom Hearts 3 while traveling across the seas. Sora could team up with Moana and Maui to travel across the seas on their raft. As for the Keyblade of this world, most obviously it's probably going to be some kind of hook Keyblade like Maui's ancient weapon. Maybe has some like grassy like stuff on the bottom to represent the enchanted magic that they have on the island. I think it would be a really cool Keyblade, and I think it would really work well for Sora. Since we haven't had a new Pirates of the Caribbean movie, I think this would be a really good substitute for that style of world, and I'm really hoping we see it in Kingdom Hearts 4. Number 5 on my list is one of the more darker Disney movies, which is The Black Cauldron. In this world, you could have Sora and the gang team up with Terran to try to take down the Horn King himself. One of the things that could be special about this world particularly is that it could be used to create more Heartless to travel to other worlds, fueled by the Horn King's need for domination, as well as the black magic of the Cauldron itself. In the movie, the Black Cauldron can create an invincible army of undead warriors known as Cauldron-born. Now, what they could do instead is instead of it being undead warriors, it could just then be creating Heartless. As for the Keyblade that Sora would get at the end, I think that having some kind of like green flame skull looking Keyblade to represent how dark this movie is would be a really cool option for this game. This is one of the more darker Disney movies, so I don't know if it would get added, but it would be very interesting and unique kind of world for them to add, so I'm hoping this type of world gets added to Kingdom Hearts 4. Number 4 on my list is another one of the most requested worlds since Disney bought the property, and that is the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, obviously, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is massive. There are so many different things you could pick for a world from this franchise, but I think the best option would honestly be the Battle of New York from the first Avengers movie in 2012. The reason why I think this would be a much better pick, well, having Loki as the final boss would be much better and much more satisfying than having, say, someone like Thanos because Thanos would have way too much lore to build up to explain to Sora when they first meet the Avengers. Having all of that, time traveling and Infinity Stones and all that would be way too much for them to explain into one world. But having just Sora and the gang understanding that Loki wants to take over New York and having him team up with the Avengers to take on Loki, I think would fit way better. As for the look of the Keyblade for this world, my boy Goofy better be getting a Captain America shield. That is a absolute must. But as for the Keyblade itself, I think having some kind of if they want to do a Captain America style shield, like at the end of as the tip of the Keyblade, I think that would be really cool too. Kind of have the wing from Captain America's helmet be like on the very end of it, or even have something along the lines of like mixing in Tony Stark's stuff on the hilt, all that stuff. But yeah, there's so many absolute possibilities for a Keyblade of this caliber. But my boy Goofy better be getting the Captain America shield. Just like with Star Wars, I'm pretty sure this is a guaranteed world that this is going to be happening in Kingdom Hearts 4, and it better be Disney. You better be listening to your fans. Number 3 on my list is A Bug's Life. Now, just like entering the world of Lion King and Zootopia, Sora and gang would be entering the world of Bug's Life, so that means they'd have to get their own bug form. Now, obviously, Sora joining the main character, he would have to become an ant. That just makes sense. But I could see Goofy, since he's a shield user, becoming something like an armored beetle, and then Donald, because he's a duck, he could become some kind of like flying insect. As for how the world would run, it would just be like the movie. The Sora and the gang would help the circus insects take down Hopper and his gang by maybe helping them build the giant bird, just like in the movie. I think it'd be a really interesting world. Maybe they could start building the bird, and then the bird actually like comes to life, or maybe it's an evil bird. But I definitely want to see a giant heartless bird should be like the final boss for this level. I think that Hopper should be like a sub-boss, and then Hopper is taken down or like is afraid of the giant heartless bird that the insects have to fight. I think that would be a really cool final boss. As for the Keyblade of this world, I definitely want to see some type of bird Keyblade. I just think that makes the most sense. It would be a really cool, you could even name it the Battle Bird. I think that would be a really awesome Keyblade. I feel like A Bug's Life does not get enough love, and I would love to see this brought into a Kingdom Hearts game. Number 2 on my list is one of my favorite Disney movies of all time, and that is Treasure Planet. Treasure Planet was one of those Disney movies that I felt like got swept under the rug, kind of like Atlantis did, and that they were underrated and not very appreciative. And I've been holding out for so long for these to join the Kingdom Hearts universe, and I'm really hoping Treasure Planet gets a world in Kingdom Hearts 4. Just imagine Sora and Jim Hawkins teaming up to take down Heartless, both flying on their flying like gliders and stuff, and being able to traverse through the world. They could even have like a miniature like windsurfing level or something like that. This world has so many possibilities of being in a fantastic world. As for the final boss, I really want it to be like just some kind of like generic mean, evil, big Heartless. Kind of like an Alice in Wonderland style, how they just kind of made it a random Heartless. Because I just don't feel right making John Silver the bad guy at the end, because he doesn't seem like, quote, the bad guy. I mean, kind of he is, but he has a change of heart in the movie. So making him be the final bad guy just doesn't feel right. As for the Keyblade, I think just kind of mash everything together. You could have the glider, you could have the treasure map, the whole aesthetics of the movie, just kind of form it all and to make a really awesome looking Keyblade. This is literally one of my favorite Disney movies of all time, so I really want it to be a Kingdom Hearts world. Come on, Disney, come on. Come on, Square, you got this. Now I am going to be adding a few honorable mentions, but these are not your normal honorable mentions. These are not Disney Worlds. You'll see what I mean in just a moment. Number 1 on this list is in top 3 favorite Disney movies of all time, and that is Robin Hood. I just want to see Sora team up with Robin Hood to take down the nefarious Prince John. It has been something I've been looking forward to since the creation of Kingdom Hearts. Just imagine Sora with a bow. We've seen his Keyblade sort of transforming Kingdom Hearts into something along those lines, but I want to see Sora have a bow and do the archery and all that. That would be absolutely amazing. Just imagine the Heartless in this world. All of the Heartless could have like medieval themes. That would be such a cool Heartless. Imagine like a knight Heartless, or like some bandit looking Heartless. You could have medieval dragons. You could have literally anything. A medieval themed Heartless would be so cool. As for the villain, obviously Prince John is a perfect villain for this movie, for this world. I think seeing Prince John corrupted and becoming some crazy crazy big Heartless, or maybe it's just like some real evil looking Heartless, that would be a really cool final boss to fight in this world. As for the Keyblade, since it's an archery themed world, I think having some kind of like arrow looking Keyblade would be a really cool kind of unique style Keyblade that they've not done before. I just want this world to happen. That is why it's number 1 on my list. It's literally one of my favorite Disney movies, and it has been overlooked by Disney and Square Enix for over 15 years now, and I just want to see this added into the franchise. Well, there you have it, everybody. This is my top 10 worlds I want to see come to Kingdom Hearts. I hope you enjoyed the video. I enjoyed making this. I love Kingdom Hearts. I love the ideas of all these worlds being brought into the franchise, and I'm really hoping Disney and Square Enix kind of take some of my ideas and makes it a reality. That would be absolutely amazing. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I've got more list videos in this on this channel. I also have a new podcast I just started with me and my buddy, so if you want to make sure you check that out in the playlist, and make sure you hit the subscribe like I said to keep up with everything we're doing, and we'll see you guys on the next video.